Hello.
Looks like Dick's on. Hi, Dick.
Hi.
Dick's on. Okay, you want to try it again? What meeting ID are you using? Here, let me see if I can. 885-859-75128. That's not what I have here.
Am I all set for that tree meeting? May I ask?
Weird. Hi, Dick.
Hi, am I all set for that tree meeting? May I ask?
Oh, I gotta finish sending. I'm waiting to hear from Public Works who's going, like
Okay.
what day they're going. But yes, I will register you.
Okay, thank you.
Where did you get this meeting ID from? No,
This meeting? Right
yeah,
now?
where did you?
From the agenda
Oh, you
page.
said it was on the agenda. Are you looking at an old agenda?
Yes, I think it was the agenda page. It has color on it.
Sorry, no, I'm on the phone with Nanette. She's having trouble getting on.
Oh, well, you're obviously on. When the question is, where is Annette? Nanette?
Yeah, she was having trouble getting on for some reason.
Oh,
Let me see, I could invite you somehow. Let me see. Oh. Let me see if I can invite you somehow.
it was a PDF.
Hold on. Brittany, go play with Bobby for a minute. Hold on, let me do this. All right, let me see. Try this meeting ID, Nanette. Like you're just trying to join from a link, I guess, but just maybe go to zoom.com and you can just put in the meeting ID. Though no one else is on, and you would think some of the other people. Let me go to your, you know, let me see your it's not 817. You want me to read you the ID? 885 8597 5128. I'm wondering if that's why no one's on this, because I think the meeting ID you put on the agenda, I wonder if that was from an old one. And then when I set up these new recurring ones, let me see if I could find that one. At least I could start that one. We could go into that. Hold on. $590,646. He said he got it from the agenda, which doesn't really make any sense if you.
Here's Nanette.
That is really weird. So what did he, where did he go? What did he go on to go?
Dick,
Hi, Nanette.
how did you get into the meeting?
How did I get in?
Yes.
I just opened the attachment on your email message that said, I think, agenda. There were two attachments. One was minutes and one was agenda. And halfway down was a URL to click.
So you got
Link.
in on the meeting announcement or on the
Yes.
agenda? The announcement?
The announcement, I think, was an email message, and that did not have any link to click. So you had two attachments on it. I think one was minutes and the other was the agenda. So I opened the agenda and there was a link to click right there in the middle of the page.
Do you have the agenda in front of you?
I will in a moment. Let's just make this small, and I hope I'm not going to lose anything by clicking this. And
It's your meeting announcement. Your meeting announcement has the right link on it. I'm not, and it has the
here's
right meeting
Hazel.
ID and passcode. I'm not sure where you got that, what the other one is.
Here's Hazel.
Hey, Hazel.
She's not connected yet.
I don't even see that one for the one that you sent on the agenda. The meeting announcement has the right one. The agenda has the wrong link, I think.
Oh, Jesus.
But I don't even see that meeting number, 8178. Let me go back. Like I looked to see if it was one of our old meetings and I don't see it.
This is weird. Hazel,
Yeah.
how did you get logged on to this meeting? I can't hear you. Let me unmute her. Hazel, you got to unmute. Hazel, you got to unmute your phone. Oh, Jesus. This is ridiculous. Every time I have to get on here, I have a problem. Where'd you go? I have
It's so weird. You must have copied that from something totally different because that's not, I don't even see that in my previous meetings as anything.
The agenda's been the same for, I just open the old agenda and revise it for the new meeting. So that's been up there for,
But that, I just looked at our old meetings and none of the old meetings was that our number.
oh my God. I don't know
I
where.
just went back to, unless it was like a really, really old one, but I went back
it must have
to,
been.
I went back to April and it's been this 8851 since April.
I must have opened it. An older.
Must have been
link
a
I
really
clicked
old
was on a
one,
message
because then I
that
made them
Annette
like
sent
recurring,
us.
so maybe it was from like an original one before we
All
had
right,
the
let me
recurring
send the
meetings.
email real quick to everyone and give them the new law. I don't know how Hazel got in here.
She might have done it from the meeting announcement. The meeting announcement has the right one.
Yes, that's what I used.
Okay.
Who's GA? That's Hazel?
Shit.
I think I unmuted.
Oh, hi Hazel.
Yes, yes, you did.
I guess you used the meeting announcement.
Yes, I did. I did off the internet.
All right.
That is not one of Hazel's cats.
No, no, no. I'm in Maryland at a campsite. Look,
Oh, okay.
yes. And there's no Wi-Fi, so I had to use my phone. And I look like I'm falling asleep because I'm tired.
I'm sorry, Nanette. I didn't even realize that the agenda didn't have the right one. I would have obviously told you that.
Well, I just sent out an email. Hopefully they'll get a pop-up saying. Jesus.
Who else is
got it.
usually on here? Like, who else do
It
you
just
think?
Well,
came.
Steve Fiedler is supposed to come and talk, and
Do you have his cell number? Maybe text him.
well, you're on the phone, so.
Can I ask Hazel outside,
Can you-
please,
can
just
you
to send
hang
me
up
the
the phone?
data on our next
Me?
Ironhofen meeting?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, next Historical Society meeting. I got to put it up on the bulletin board outside.
Okay, listen, I'm out of town until Saturday. I'll send it to you Saturday.
Fine, fine, fine.
Oh, the name is Ann Fox. She will be our speaker.
Ann Fox is a man?
Yes. No. She's my cousin Annie, who was on Steve's film, and she will talk about raising cranberries in the Jersey Pinelands.
Right, okay.
Okay. Now, am I taking up
Nan,
everybody's-
N-A-N? N-A-N?
A-N, A-N-N,
A-N-N, okay,
F-O-X.
okay, thank you.
Who else usually attends?
The green team?
Yeah.
Sometimes just me and Annette.
All right, I just texted Kim.
Okay.
She said she couldn't get in. Let me send that to Steve. Where's Steve? I don't.
You want me to text Lisa? Do you think Lisa was
Yeah,
planning on
text.
attending?
Lisa. Yeah, text. Lisa. Text. There's 18 people on our.
Yeah, who's the lady that lives in town? She comes a lot. I forget her name. She lives in that little house on Arago Street.
And
Yeah, around the
Tim's-
corner from me. I don't have good name memory either, unfortunately.
I wonder if I could just.
I could knock on her door.
Darn it.
Rick Dovey was going to come, right?
Well, he said he was coming, and then he texted me and said that something came up at work, and
He was-
he
He
won't
was
be
going
able
to
to.
come to the Historical Society last night too, and he wasn't there.
Yeah,
Maybe Annie Tinsley, doesn't she attend sometimes?
yeah, but see, I don't have all their phone numbers.
Rarely.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Annie there for a long time.
Okay.
Steve spoke at the Historical Society last night. It was wonderful. We had guests. It was just, he was wonderful. It was really, really good.
Oh, here it is.
I don't think it'll let me create my own meeting ID. Otherwise, I would try.
Well, you said that I've been using the same one. I don't know what I did, but
That must have been from like a meeting like back before last
Before you
April.
set it up,
Before
right?
April, yeah. Because the only farthest I can go back is April on our account, and it looks like it was still the one, like the new one.
Are you talking about the agenda?
Yeah,
Because
it
my
has the
agenda
wrong.
has Steve Fiedler on there.
No, it has. We didn't realize the agenda has the wrong Zoom link, but the meeting one is right.
Oh,
The meeting
Okay.
announcement is right.
well, I got on.
I'm gonna try from my phone putting in that number, Nanette. I'm curious if what it'll say to me, if it'll let me like start it or anything.
I did it 3 times and it told me it was wrong. It was wrong. And the 3rd time it went right through.
Interesting.
where you at? And you're outside and under the trees?
Yeah, I'm telling you what, it's beautiful. We're in a KOA, my cousin Ellen and I, it's our escape 4 days. We would just want to relax and just relax. In
So
a KOA.
Steve got in.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
hey,
Steve.
Hello, I'm just still trying to check in here. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You're
we
in.
got you.
You're in.
Okay. Let me widen this out here.
I
Yeah.
had the wrong codes on the agenda. but
Yeah,
the
I just
right
got
codes-
nothing but error messages when I was trying to get in.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh no, what do I do? So I don't know who, I sent an email out to everyone with the correct information. So hopefully they'll get the email. Maybe they'll get a pop-up on their computer screen.
Hello, Hazel.
Hey, we're down here in Hagerstown. It's beautiful.
Hagerstown, yes.
Yeah,
Nice
we went-
down there.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And the campground's almost empty. It's a KOA, but it's almost empty. And there's a creek right behind us. It's beautiful.
Would that be a creek or a crick?
Well, depends. Yeah, it used to be a creek. Now it's a creek. What can I tell you? We were raised with cricks.
That's right, we were.
Yes,
I'm going down the crick. You want to go?
that's right. I always swam in a creek.
Sure. You have a good drive?
We did. The only thing, there was not heavy traffic, just a lot of trucks on 81 coming down. We took Pennsylvania Turnpike and then a lot of trucks on 81, but not bad at all. It was good. It was relaxing, actually. It was good.
That's the road number I was trying to remember last night. Someone asked me how to get to Asheville from, to drop down to go to Asheville from around the area where you're at. And I said that the road that goes through the Shenandoah Valley, and I couldn't think of Route 81.
We have been on the southern part of this, which is just beautiful. I love that ride
Hmm.
through Virginia and stuff. So we went through some rain, but it's all beautiful now. The air is cool, sky is blue with some clouds. But by this creek behind me, you can see a level where tree branches were hung in the water 6 feet from the water's top from the hurricane last week. If we had come last week, we wouldn't have been able to stay here. The water was so high.
I think I just heard some thunder outside. I don't know if we're going to get a storm or not.
I watched the weather before and I think you can get a storm yet.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be beautiful the rest of the week.
Oh, Kim's here. Oh, hi, Kim.
Hi,
How you
everybody.
Hello.
Sorry about that. We had the wrong link on the agenda, but the right one on the meeting announcement. So you got my text or email?
I ended up getting your text.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's get started. And Jody, this is being recorded, right?
Yes.
So we could, I'll send the link. You send me the link afterwards and I'll send it to everybody so they can watch it. Is that how it works?
I can put it like on our YouTube channel afterwards.
Okay,
That'd be nice. That would be nice, Jody.
okay.
Okay.
Well, we still have no money. So Jody, your financial report has what? We have like $200 or something like that in our account, but what was that? And so let's just roll right into Steve. Steve wants to talk about the film. We sent out an email a couple weeks ago with the link to the video, and I watched it. I speeded through some sections, but it was excellent. It was excellent. I thought it was a little long, but I don't know if you could edit it down to make it shorter.
It is
But
done.
was-
It is in the hands of Sustainable Jersey. It is fine.
It's done.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It was beautiful and
Well-
so well done. And all the comments that everybody made were great. So,
I get that comment a lot, and I recommend that people take it into segments and just watch it one segment at a time.
right.
We have over 20 hours of material in this, and believe me, to take these interviews, which were very graciously given by 25 different people, and get them down from an hour and a half to 7 minutes for each of these very knowledgeable people was not easy. And I let the last 10 minutes go to my brother. I said, I don't care. Just take 10 minutes out of wherever you think you can get it. And he took the final 10 minutes of the audit out of it. So
I especially like that it was taken all the way into Atlantic City and talking about what's going on there and having Jim Matala talk and all about what they've done there, because people don't get the information out of Atlantic City of the good things that they're doing there to protect the environment. So I thought it was great.
Atlantic City was a tough thing, and Jim's been involved for so long with being their grant writer and such. He's sort of a de facto head of what used to be a green team. He doesn't want to be identified as chair of a green team because that's not what he does.
Mhm.
They don't have a green team. So sort of, on paper, I guess, some executives of companies and all, but they need a boots on the ground green team. So been trying to get some names to maybe start something up there. But Jim brought a whole different perspective there with talking about, what we all are going to face with the Army Corps Back Bay study. Like it or not, they're going to need to have input from all of us, and it's going to take a long time because the project, if it gets built, won't start till 2030, evidently. So that's a lot of sessions, and it affects almost every municipality in the movie. Actually, all of them, including Hamilton, because the water keeps on pushing past Mullica and up into waters that are basically Hamilton water. So.
How far up does the river go? I mean, past Hamilton.
Well, the river goes all the way to Berlin,
Okay.
but I started the movie in Atzion Lake, which is not really in Hamilton, but it's darn close. If you come down the river just a little bit, you're in Hamilton. A huge swath of Hamilton is wetlands that drains into the Mullica. So it's beautiful, wild, and it's just not talked about too much. But that's what feeds the blueberry fields. I mean, some cranberry operations and water impoundments that they use for irrigation for blueberry is waters that were kind of captured from the great swamp out in Mullica and Hamilton area. So it goes by progression from west to east, like it says in the movie: Hamilton, Mullica, Egg Harbor City, Port Republic, Galloway, Absecon, Brigantine, and Atlantic City. Atlantic City, Absecon, Galloway, and Brigantine all come together in Absecon Bay and Reeds Bay. So there is a mixing of the waters between the two watersheds, Great Egg and Mullica. And I thought it was appropriate to bring.
How does it come together, Great Egg?
The Great Egg Harbor River drains through Absecon Creek.
It does?
That's not part of the Mullica, no.
Not quite true, Steve, I think. We'll talk about it later. I wanted to say to Nanette that officially the Mullica starts at Atzion by the confluence of 3 or 4 other rivers, the Batstow being one of them. But the name Mullica only applies to the area below Batstow.
I got you.
Yeah, but the majority of the river, there's a high point in Galloway where the rivers diverge. Some of it goes towards Moss Mill Creek, Morse's Mill, but the north branch of Doughty Creek begins in Galloway and winds up in the area where the airport is and joins with the Great Egg portion.
Well, in that case, the email I sent you about putting something in Down Beach, just erase that.
Well,
that's their watershed. So I was oh,
it all mixes. It all mixes together around where Rick gave his report about the sewage treatment plant and the inland waterway. So, and his talk and Jim Metallo's talk extends all the way down to Jackson Avenue, the border of Ventnor. So it touches.
Yeah. Okay.
It does.
Well, we could do something on that. Just send me a press release or something like that, and I'll
sure. Well, the other overarching thing is that it is a hub project. It's not just the Friends Along the Mullica. This grant was for the hub of Atlantic and Cape May County.
Okay.
So it needs to be studied and celebrated through the whole hub because there are a lot of commonalities in the issues that are brought up there. So that was my point, that it is something that's going to go. We're having a hub meeting in 2 weeks, I think, with the Cape Atlantic Hub and decide how best to put together either another Zoom discussion amongst the Green Team members or just to go around to the various towns and talk about it. But you can take Great Egg Harbor towns and apply this movie to that as well, because we're facing this, like I say, Back Bay study. We all have history to share. We all have problems with invasive species plants and Phragmites and geese and deer, right down the list. It all applies, and everyone can have a comment about that.
Right. Any chance you could get the video shown at Stockton, Galloway, and Atlantic City?
Plans are underway for that, yes. But everything is kind of goofy because of COVID, I don't even know if we're going to be able to have our Native Plant Society meeting in person at Stockton like we usually do, because they haven't officially approved it yet. So, like I say, it's all up in the air. We're talking about it as soon as we can do it. Yeah, as well as Forsyth.
Right.
Forsyth wants to have a showing at their nice visitor center there, but not in person yet.
Okay.
And also Cousteau Center has a meeting room that can hold quite a few people. They were great partners in this project, and they're on hold as well. They'd like to have meetings up there too.
Yeah. Well, it was great. So what else did you want to say about it?
I just wanted to say that it is in some ways kind of an exercise in continuity and just getting towns to talk to each other. Many towns and many organizations, they kind of live in silos, that whether it be town by town or academia or working people or fishermen on the beach somewhere or bicycling associations or surf riding people. I just feel like it's a way to kind of cross the stream, so to speak, and get people talking to each other. We had a nice little meeting at the Historical Society, I thought, last night at Egg Harbor City, and it's a place to revere and talk about history there, which I love. But we did, I think, after a while, folks started to raise their hands about one topic or another, whether it be invasive species or climate change or something. So all of those things should bubble up to the surface, no pun intended. But and as you have a chance to go through and break out each segment and each speaker, you'll find something else that will pop out at you. Like when you listen to Dr. Ken Abel talk from the Rutgers field station, his abbreviated edited portion was just a couple snippets of a much larger conversation. I mean, in that 7 minutes, he talked about climate change, he talked about invasive species, he talked about ghost forests that were affected by climate change and Sandy, the storm, and how we need to be more resilient. He talked about his studies of his fishes for the last 30 plus years, the greatest time sample of the whole East Coast, and how of larval fishes, and how they're going to go back in because they still have all these fishes, and start to re-examine them again for traces of plastics over the years, which was not a concern before so much, but they may be one of the premier places to study the progression of fish tissues and the microplastics that have gotten into them. And as he explained, now we're seeing fishes that are changing their sex because of endocrine disruption, and we're seeing southern species fishes migrating north. So all that is because Mullica is in a zone which is a perfect place to study all these things. Climate change, because the land is sinking while the water is rising. You got the crosshatch of the southern and northern fish species, and you have this long time series of sampling that they've been doing that's coming back around to be more relevant again. So I just pick him out as one of the speakers. Rick Dovey, spot on. Jim Ritala, a whole nother perspective from talking about dredging and talking about gates and talking about bulkheads and raising buildings and all that. That's a different discussion from everybody else that was on there. So everybody had something important to say. And it's, in some ways, it's a folksy thing, like we were talking about Annie
Yeah.
Fox with the cranberry bog. You know, I thought that was wonderful. She gave a nice from the heart talk about her cranberry bog and her experience with raising cranberries with her family and her husband, with kind of a bootstrap story there, and what it's become now is a preserved kind of a wildlife refuge. So
Yeah. Well, I found it very inspirational, and it gave me a little like nudge to get busy working again. 'Cause it's
There's so
so
much to
important.
do.
It's so overwhelming, and
it can be overwhelming, and there is too much in the film, but that's my fault. My brother warned me constantly over and over, stop the laundry list. Will you stop it? Stop
well,
it now.
let me ask you a question. Is there any chance it could be broken up into segments that could be posted separately?
Well, when my brother and I start having beers together again, maybe we can talk about it.
Because they
It's
might
been-
get more play, like if you could post, say, the section on Egg Harbor City, and we promote it here in Egg Harbor with a
Yeah.
link to the full version, you know.
Yep. It's anything's possible, but it's just in a period of just total exhaustion right now. So
Yeah, I bet.
it's out there. Sustainable Jersey has it. They'll be putting it out to many different places. Anjek will have it. I'm meeting tomorrow with PPA. Actually, the chairman of the trustees is coming down to help clean up trash at Clark's Landing tomorrow. So we'll have a discussion over lunch about things. And, you know, I'm just looking to make connections like with these 8 towns, but also larger connections with organizations that
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
allies.
Right.
And as I mentioned to Cousteau and to Rutgers and to Hazel and some of the people that actually contributed material from the other side of the Mullica, some of the photography was shot from the north side, that I want to make contacts in the towns in Washington Township and Long Beach Island and Bass River Township, and just get the conversation going on both sides of the river, because this was such a crazy grant idea to just include the Atlantic County side. It seems a little off-putting if you don't understand why it was constructed that way, if you live on the other side of the river. So
Right.
I want to explain myself and invite them into this discussion.
Well, you
They're gonna-
might want to contact Barbara Reynolds, because she's
I know
on the
Barbara
staff.
very well. Yes,
Yeah, she's on staff for Township Green
that
Tea.
would be a good idea. I will send her a link and an explanation right off the bat.
Cool.
Steve, is there any chance that copies on DVD could be made available to the public libraries in the region?
That's
I
good.
have DVDs. I only have 25 at this time, and I will start dispersing them around soon. Yes.
Thank you.
Cool. Good. All right, anything
So-
else, Steve?
That's about all. And if you want me to drop out, the only thing that you had on your agenda is about the cleanup at Clark's Landing.
Yeah, we can talk about that now. I know it was International Waterway Cleanup Day last weekend, and I was thinking, you know, we should get out there and do a group cleanup, but
Okay, I just want to say, and this is, I don't know how to frame this, but I that's not me barking.
that's my dog. There must
Okay.
be a squirrel in the yard.
Okay. I really would like to not have to clean up Clark's Landing for too much longer. Okay, it's a weekly thing. It has to be done weekly because of all the rotting, stinking garbage, trash, fish heads, roasted pigs, you name it. It's got to be picked up every week. So if anyone, if Jody's on the line, someone from government, someone from council, someone from anywhere that has some say, if they can plunk a couple of Egg Harbor City toters out there and add it to the list of the route from Egg Harbor City Lake and go out and do a pickup once a week, it would be greatly appreciated.
Well, you know, our situation, Jody's on, but she
Yeah,
might be doing.
I'm here. I could,
Uh,
I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to either ACUA and Keith. I'm not totally sure how that works. There's nothing out there now.
nothing
Well,
out.
I thought the mayor had requested that they put containers with trash liners in them out there.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'll have to talk
And
to Keith.
I was also told that that Keith goes out there once a week to pick up the trash on trash day or whatever, but I don't know if that's happening.
No,
Okay.
it's not happening because the trash is still all
You're
out and
still
about.
hauling it away every week?
I take it away myself, yeah.
Yeah, because they graded the road so that they could get back there. And
Right.
I mean, it's way out of town, and I we have such a short, so few people working. I mean, for us to go out there every week and clean up, I don't see it happening.
I don't want to suggest cleaning up. I just want to
Pick
ask
up
if
the
it's
trash.
possible to pick up the trash. So, because
Yeah,
I have a car that's about to die. It's on its last legs. It's an extra car that I've kept around for this project. I'm not taking my new vehicles out there and
Yeah.
stuffing trash in them, okay?
well, how's the road been lately?
The road is great. There's no problem with the road as far as, unless there's a high king tide or something, which I think, they could just simply look up on their apps or whatever and say, okay, we can't do that today, maybe another time, but it needs to be addressed I think in an Egg Harbor City way. It's Egg Harbor City property. I know it's also DEP property, but I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years and I got a whole bunch of other stuff on my plate now. And I really could use that not to be on my plate.
The property belongs to Egg Harbor City.
Okay,
That's what I- And so it should be part of the cleanup. Absolutely.
so
Yeah,
think,
well, I just, you know how hard it is to get, look how many people are at this meeting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't physically do it.
No, but you have,
I work and I've been rehabbing from my surgery, which has been very difficult, by the way. And, so I can't go out there every week. And I don't
Well,
know,
if
can
there were
anybody
out there
go
with
out there?
ACUA to pick them up.
I don't think that ACUA, do they service Egg
Yes.
Harbor City?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I think they have little interim trucks that they send around because of like,
The supervisors would have to do it, yeah.
well, no, I think they have, in all towns, I've seen them go around if there's a spill incident or something, they go around and they kind of, go after the trucks go through if there's any issues.
Oh,
maybe-
is that an area a trash truck could get to?
Is it a place
Yeah,
where
I don't think a trash truck should go back there, but pickup would be fine.
an auxiliary pickup would be in order, I think, yeah.
you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. So I say, yeah, we go to the city, we ask, they can talk to ACUA, whatever it is, but we have to start somewhere.
Right.
Get this
Okay.
stuff rolling.
But as
ACUA,
far as picking up the stuff and putting it in the trash can, I mean, who's going to
That's
do
not what-
that if Steve doesn't do it?
I think that it's come to the point now where thankfully, there's a fair amount of allies that are fishermen that kind of look over things and
good.
help to get the stuff into the cans.
Are there
I'm not,
out there already?
I'm sorry.
Are there cans out there already? Are there trash cans out there?
There are cans that I've put out there. This is probably the third or fourth set of cans I've put out there. Some have been burned. Some have been shot with shotguns. Some
Yeah,
have
they
been
have
run
no
over,
bottoms on them.
run over by trucks. So it's getting better, I must say, but it's still a little bit of the tinge of Wild West out there.
They
And it's
need
only
those blue buckets that we use.
Blue
Those blue
buckets?
barrels would be good.
Oh, the big blue barrels,
Yeah,
the like the 50-gallon ones, you mean?
yeah.
That's about the size that I have one right now. I have one steel 50-gallon drum and one plastic one out there. The old ones, when they get ruined, I'd cart them away and take them to ACUA.
And maybe we could erect like a little box with trash can liners in them so that when whoever goes out there to pick up the trash just has to pull out the bag instead of picking up the whole barrel and finding some way to dump it. There should be bags out there to line
Yeah,
the
well,
barrels.
it is kind of a conundrum because this, like I say, the mixture of stuff that's out there, I have to just simply spill the barrels over and just go through, separate
Right,
the
and you go
recycling.
separate the recycles from the
Yeah, I
trash.
do, but I'm not as concerned. I just want to keep the stuff from washing into the river, because every time you get a really good high tide now, that whole thing, sometimes I'll find the trash cans on their side and the stuff is all spilled out on Hay Road. So it's a matter of hitting it every week and getting the stuff the heck out of there. I'm not adverse to going out once in a while and getting stuff in the cans, but like I say, I'm tired of the fish juice in my car.
Do. Well, I
I
will
can
do whatever
double bag
I
it
can.
and triple bag it, but when you put all that junk in there and you jam in a car part that's also in there with a jagged edge, then all of a sudden, oh man, I got a leak. Oh
Miss
God.
the car when it goes.
Yeah. This is funny. I don't want to take up your time, but Jack Connor, my friend Jack Connor, took me out to Clark's Landing with my old junker and posed it by the edge of the river and took a picture of me next to the car and submitted a 250 word article to Subaru magazine. Because they have a contest that goes on about what becomes of old Subarus.
Oh my God, that's a great
He
idea.
did a write-up about the mission of the Friends of the Mullica and the Clark's Landing cleanups and all. So we'll see where that goes, but it was something nice that
A commercial one day.
yeah.
Let me just butt in too. I still think too that Steve is right. If we have official ACUA trash cans and things out there, people might be more aware that okay, there's more to this than just some guy putting cans out here, and people may be more respectful to put trash in there. We know they all won't, but I think it's a step forward.
They
To
do
try
have
to
a
get-
truck. They do have a truck that runs around that has a little derrick on it that picks up the toters and puts them on the truck because they're forever delivering and taking away toters in towns.
Mhm.
That truck could get back there more easily than a full size trash truck could.
They can work it out. They can work it out.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll contact Rick and
Talk
Jody.
to Rick. I think Rick could come up with a solution.
All right.
Yes, thank you. Good.
I would like to see the city though, as volunteers go out there at least quarterly and do a, pick up.
I'd be happy
Well,
to help. Be
Let's
happy to
put
help.
it, if you walked out there today, you'll find trash that's still in the woods and all that, but it's not the time of year right now to go tromping into the woods because of the ticks and everything. So I usually wait until the winter to go and get that deep trash that's hard to reach. But I'm
Mhm.
always keeping an eye out. I do the swing into the other portion of Clark's Landing to see if anybody dumped a pickup truck load worth of stuff out there, which happens every now and again. Or in evidence of people that have thrown, I've found gallons and gallons of motor oil in the meadows leaking from people that have put their used motor oil in the container that they poured the new stuff in, and then just throw it in piles out there. And then it floats out into the meadows. So it needs diligence. I'm not averse to continuing to go out there, but I just think that a regular pickup would be a great relief for me, but something that would make it cleaner and better for the town. So a lot of people use that place. They really do.
Yeah. All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate you coming
All
on
right.
and giving us your
So-
spiel about the video and all that. So,
Okay, everybody watch the video. Share the link whenever you can. I'll get some DVDs around. And
My Facebook page. Right?
great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You can just.
Anything
go
you
to
can
my
do.
Facebook
and
page
send
and
us
watch.
a release about the film for Down Beach.
Okay,
Can I ask you something, Steve?
sure.
Are there, you said there's plenty of fishermen out there and they've been helping out. Have you spoken to any of them who do use that area, whether they're from Egg Harbor City and whether they would be willing to do anything like that?
Well, I
Do they have
think,
pickups and whatnot?
oh, they sure do. Boy, if you could use every pickup for something useful, it would be wonderful. There's so many empty pickups that ride around. unfortunately, the guy that does the most is not from Egg Harbor City. He's become a good friend. I mean, we call on the phone, talk sometime instead of just meeting out there randomly. I think he's from Atco or something, but he absolutely loves Clark's Landing. He's fished there for many years. He brings his two girls out there, and they've gradually, because they like to walk in the mud with Crocs on or something, they've been picking up little bits of glass from the water, because you can't swim out there. It's just loaded with broken glass. But in addition to picking up trash, you know, he asks other people to help as well. So I don't think that they're going to be taking the trash away anytime soon themselves, unfortunately.
I
But
didn't
they
know
have
whether,
become willing to put it in the cans at least. Yeah.
I didn't know whether you had made them aware that you were doing it and
Oh, they
that
know
you
I'm
would
doing it. Yes.
appreciate their, you know, their help, since they do use it all the time, and to keep
Unfortunately,
it,
right.
you know, as it is.
Unfortunately, I think my initial meeting card, literally with people out there, I would walk around and try to talk to people, and sometimes people don't want to be talked to when they're out there. I
Okay.
would lead with my Galloway Township Historical Society card and say, I'm here cleaning up this historic area on behalf of Galloway Township Historical Society. That's my opening line.
Mhm.
And so I don't think that they're going to take it on as one of their, as a project. You know, they just like to go out there and fish, and that's pretty much it. But if they can help get the stuff in the cans, that's awesome. You know,
Mhm.
this fellow Mark that I'm talking about, good friend, he actually calls in when someone he sees is drunk out there, or someone is homeless out there, or whatever. He notifies the town. And
Mhm.
they've had instances where the police have come out to, you know, he's called when someone's stuck in the sand if he can't pull them out. So he fishes at nighttime. Sometimes he fishes in daytime. He sees what I see in the daytime, which is the massive amount of liquor bottles and hypodermic needles and all kind of paraphernalia. So, and he's very attuned to safely picking that kind of stuff up. So it's not easy. I didn't say it was. So I think maybe if you talk to Rick, he might have some suggestions.
All right, great.
Thank you.
I would like to say, Nanette, I would like to say something. I grew up going out there when I was a kid. We swam, we fished off the barge that was there. But this is a piece of Egg Harbor City property, and it is a gem. You understand, there is very little access to the Mullica River for people anymore. You can't fish off the bridges anymore. There's no swimming in Greenbank. There's no place to get to the river. It's a gem, it's a jewel, and we have to protect it and keep it for the public. But we've got to make the public aware that this is a gem and they have to help take care of it. But it's very special to have this place, and it belongs to Egg Harbor City. There is so little access to the Mullica River for people.
One little factoid that makes that even more important is that Galloway is thinking about closing off Mannheim Avenue.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because they're tired of dumping gravel in there and have it just immediately be splushed out by the big monster trucks that go down there to crab, you know. So it may be that gets closed off to except for maybe foot traffic, but it's a mile walk from the edge of the woods out to the river. So that's even less access to the Mullica. So I see Clark's Landing and some areas in Mullica as very, very important for Atlantic County.
If Galloway shuts off Mannheim Avenue, would that create more interest in going to Clark's Landing?
Sure.
I think some of the same people go down both
Then the
places.
problem gets worse for us.
Oh, possibly, but it's also more dangerous to be. I mean, it's not that far downstream, but if you've ever tried to launch a kayak or something on the edge of Swan Bay, it's very deep there, and immediately you get swept out and possibly flipped over. So it's a little bit safer in the shallow portion of Clark's Landing to at least walk in the water or launch a kayak and follow the edge of the meadows upstream a little bit to explore Teal Creek or Gloucester Landing or go up to Green Bank or something. But that water, that river has a mind of its own. I mean, it is really
And
deep in some spaces. Yeah,
it moves.
it sure does. Yep.
I've
Oh,
paddled against
Gloucester
it
Landing
myself.
would be a fine access point if Egg Harbor City would develop it as such. That's another road that needs to be maintained, and quite a bit of public land at the edge of the river when you get to the end of the road.
That road is seriously degraded now. It's really bad. Yeah.
One last question. Is there signage out there as far as pick up or anything like that?
That's a good question. I was told not to put any signage up, but I kind of called their bluff. This is the state I'm talking about.
Okay.
I said, no signage. It's strictly carry in, carry out, and that's the end of it. And so the first 1,500 feet of Hay Road is in Galloway Township. So I got Public Works to plunk in one of our signs there that has all the ordinances posted on it and all the rough language about what we're going to do to you if we catch you, darn it.
Right.
But they don't realize as soon as they pass that sign that they're now in Egg Harbor City. So at the end of Hay Road, before you split off to go one left or right, the county kind of sneaked out there and just put up a no littering sign. So
Okay.
that shouldn't be there, but so what, you know?
Right. So there is a no littering sign there.
There is a no littering
Aware.
sign
Not
that
that-
faces you there.
Not that people need that, but it can't hurt.
I think it's helped. And what I mentioned is in one of the articles was if it looks like a landfill, it will continue to be a landfill.
Yeah, you people are to their environment, and
So the more you keep
Egg
it,
Harbor City, so we know.
Yeah. I
You
don't
know.
need to expand on that, but that's the theory anyway.
And we also have to remember that it's a historical area too that needs to be preserved.
I'm speechless about that because I've been told that because it has a cemetery on it, it should actually qualify for some historic preservation, but that and a nickel has not gotten us a cup of coffee. So I think everyone here should still remember that it is a historic site. And when I tell people about it, they're like amazed, that is possible, that this was such a settlement way back when in history. So it's a matter of just, I've been giving out links to the first video that I did, which was just a fly around of Clark's Landing when we were practicing for the big movie. I might have given you guys that.
Yeah.
I just spoke off the top of my head about the history of it, and I give that link out on the back of my Historical Society card, and then I'll get an email back. Wow, I never knew. Thanks for telling me that. So I think that's where I got a few allies from the fishing community out there.
Steve and I both serve on the County Parks Advisory Commission, and we've asked that the county consider an historical park there of some kind, and they have really no money and no interest, I'm sorry to have to say. I think that's fair to say, right, Steve?
Well, I would say that there was some lip service that didn't go too far, but I'm not giving up on that. I think maybe another go at that is in order. So once this film gets, Linda Gilmore has the information, and she says she'll be distributing it through the commissioners and Denny Levinson and all that. And then maybe that'll be a foot in the door to further the conversation.
Are there any grants or anything for that sort of thing, I wonder?
I'm sure there are grants. That's another avenue I want to explore. In Go Green Galloway, we've been pretty good at getting grants, but it's just the time and the trouble to find the right funder. But we'll keep working on it.
Mhm.
Well, that open space and recreation grant that they're using to bring sewer lines out to the campground would have been perfect for it, but
Yeah. Okay. Well,
the word has to get out to the governing body that this is important, because I don't even think they're aware of it. I mean, they don't come to these meetings, and they never discuss anything like that at the council meetings, but it's just me, going to the meetings. If they're on Zoom, I can go, but I work on Thursday nights when they have their meetings, so I can't attend in person because I'm just coming from another meeting, and I'm like, I'll be lucky if I get into the house by 7 p.m. So,
Mhm.
but it's, we need an advocate on council to attend these meetings and listen to Steve talk about it, and maybe go out there and.
So who is your
get
main,
out.
person who disperses information to the government in Egg Harbor City? Is it Jody or someone else?
Well, like I said, I attend the meetings. Kim's been attending the meetings.
But Parks and Recreation is Donna Heist, right? She's Parks and
She
Recreation.
knows, she gets our agendas. She gets invited to every meeting we have. She's never.
No, I mean, when something comes to the town that the administration, the council, the department heads who need to be apprised of, if this is considered worthy to rise to that level, I would come to a council meeting if you want me to and talk about the project, because it's my intention is just to get the word out there about all these gems that we have along the Mullica, and also the challenges that we have along the Mullica.
Yeah.
So if
That's a great idea if you could attend,
That would be great. That would
So-
certainly be a start, and it would certainly, open council's eyes and minds towards it.
so
Yeah. A lot of people in town don't know about Clark's Landing. The fishermen know, but I don't, and the kids know because they go out there and drink beer and party and stuff, but.
okay, well, I'm just asking, who is the person that can get the link to the council and such?
I
I'm
guess
not that
Jody,
person.
I don't know. Jody?
Myself or Meg, me or Meg.
All right, could you, if you
I mean,
have
Meg
those,
handles our agenda, so I mean, but I could reach out to her to ask, about it if you need me to. But yeah, she's the one who puts the agenda together and would probably, I mean, both of us kind of, ask council things, so it doesn't really matter.
if they have a packet system or whatever, if they could just include the link and the brochure,
Yes.
I think that it would raise the level of interest to such that, I've been there 2 or 3 times and I don't mind coming back. I know it's different people mostly, but I don't mind. I'll come back and talk about it.
Yeah.
But they need to watch the movie first.
They need
Yeah,
to watch the film. They need to watch the film.
All right.
Yeah,
I've
thanks, Steve.
Taken up a lot of your time, but not 85 minutes worth
Yeah,
like
it's
the film.
important.
So I'll leave you and have a good night. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
you.
Thanks, Steve.
Good night.
Okay, moving on, we submitted our second round for Sustainable Jersey certification for bronze certification. We submitted our grant, our status to them in June, and then they sent us back a whole list of things that had to be done. And thank God for Jody, because she gathered up more stuff and sent it off. So we're waiting to hear about that. It should be soon. If they need even more stuff, we have until, I think, the end of October to submit it to them for this year, to get certified this year. We also asked for an extension on our certification because we weren't able to do things during COVID. So I'm not too worried about it. Jody, you want to kick in on anything here?
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully between what we resubmitted and if they do come back, there's a couple other actions that I think we could still try to submit for. So hopefully, I think we could still get it this year. I'm like 75% confident that what we submitted was good.
Yeah,
I feel like they're a little tough on some of the actions. Like they get the gist, we're doing it. For some reason, they're so like stuck on it being like a very specific way. I mean, to me, it's like if it meets the objective and it shows you're doing it, can we like move on with our lives,
yeah,
But
right.
but
Well,
I mean, they, I guess they have to setting a standard. So
yeah, we're competing with big towns like Galloway that has a sustainability officer. that can do all this stuff and organize all this stuff. And here we are, a handful of volunteers trying to do it. So,
Right,
but the city has done a lot of good stuff in the last couple of years. And they're doing things that probably we could get points for that nobody even knows about. So,
Exactly.
you know,
Hard to keep track of it all, but
right.
it is worth it. I know it's a lot, but we've gotten some nice grants out. So I try to remind myself that when I'm getting frustrated, doing the application.
And for instance, the city recently got permission to do the solar project out at Gordon Doll Way. So if that project's done this year, we'll get a lot of points for that, like 20 or 30 points for doing a solar installation. But that's been going on for like 2 years. And now it's really coming to fruition. So there's other things. And then the things that we had said back in January that we wanted to do with the pet parenting program and things like that, we should be getting back on board with that soon too. So I'm not too worried about the certification as I think we'll get certified, because did you notice, Jody, how many points we submitted for?
When I resubmitted it, I'm trying to remember. Maybe it had to be between 180 and 200.
And you need 150 to get the certification. So we should be okay.
Yeah, and honestly, I was a little bit annoyed because that energy tracking one, we could have had like an easy 20 points, but it didn't look like a lot of that was actually completed.
Well, when I talked, that's our next thing on the agenda, EDF fellowship. When I talked to him and you couldn't make that meeting, it was.
I know, and I felt a little like it's also, partly my fault. It was hard to really focus on that over the summer.
Yeah, no, but he said that because you sent him information on like 4 or 5 sites in the city.
Right.
He said there's the usage of energy is so low in those spots that he said you shouldn't even worry about them. It's not even, worth it. That the main building is City Hall, and to contact the gas company about doing the what do they call it?
The direct install.
Well, yeah, to do a direct install. He also said that the funding is there, that it probably wouldn't cost us anything. And if we did have a share, it would be funded at 0% over a long period of time. So it's possible to get some things done at City Hall. So I think just the next step with that is to contact the gas company and get them.
Well, I contacted the people that he sent out for the direct install, and I actually heard back from the one person yesterday and spoke with him to get the information that he had asked for. So now I'm kind of just I sent them what he thinks he needs for now, and then he's going to get back to me.
Good.
So I'm working on that. I feel like
nobody knows about,
Yeah, and I think honestly, it's worth trying for some of the other buildings, even though the usage might be low, like the equipment at the senior center. Like we need new HVAC equipment out there. So that direct install program might pay for some of that. So I still want to submit, I sent them all the buildings, not all the buildings, but like the main ones that we kind of use that I thought doesn't hurt. If we can do some kind of upgrades, it's worth it.
Right. Well, any kind of improvement over at City Hall would be helpful. If it's a matter of changing all the lights or, upgrading a chiller, I don't know what.
Right.
Be done. The engineer would probably have to.
Yeah, I mean, City Hall, we got a new boiler a few years ago through direct install, but the chiller, we got prices last year to kind of start because we were having a lot of air conditioning issues. So that's definitely something I want to try to see if somehow we could do through the program, because that would be a huge savings.
Great. Okay, now we got some really good news to share. The Atlantic City Electric extended our grant application, a grant award that we got last year. We got $10,000 last year to do the bulkhead repairs out at the lake. But because the lake can only be worked on at certain times of the year, according to the EPA, we were able to get a grant extension, and it's likely that Jody will get some work done on the bulkhead, I guess in January or February, when the fish aren't biting. So that's excellent news that we didn't lose that money because we couldn't get the work done. Jody did get some work done out there. The guys went out and patched up some stuff, but there's a good chance we can get a contractor out there to shore it up the way it should be. Right, Jody?
Yes, exactly.
And
Yeah, this,
more good
it is
news.
the always.
We got notice last week that we were conditionally approved, and today we got notice that we were approved for a $30,000 grant to plant trees on streets that were stripped bare of their trees during road projects. So it's like a 2-year program. We can start getting work on it now. The planting won't be done until fall of 22. And then following that, there's a 2-year maintenance period where the trees have to be maintained, and hopefully we don't lose any of the trees that we plant. So the way we submitted this grant application, it heavily involves the community. Things we have to do in the next, I could say next month or two, is to establish a list of trees that we want to see planted. And I have a short list of trees that were included in the application, but we really should talk with the forester the landscape engineer at Remington and Vernick to see what trees they recommend that are deep rooted and would make nice shade trees. We also need, if we can find somebody who's good with technology, to transfer Dick's spreadsheet on the tree inventory to iTree. And we had discussed that, Jody, at that meeting we had in Linwood at Arboretum. And it's just time consuming, and I don't have the time to do it. But if we could find somebody to transfer Dick's information, that's what the state prefers, because they can access it and glean data from it for other things. We also need to contact homeowners on those streets that are listed and ask them if they would like to have a tree in the front of their property. And we could start doing that now. I think if we do it in the next month or so, then we'd have a good list to start from. And if we can't get enough people to participate, then we could probably branch out to other areas where we think there should be trees planted.
I've already done that, haven't I?
Yeah, you did, but we submitted what you gave me, but a lot of people weren't home, and
Yes.
you weren't able to actually talk to all the people who live there. So we're thinking of doing like a letter or a postcard where it gets directly into their home. So,
Okay.
and also do press releases when we announce that we got the grant, which should be usually, I think that DEP, and it makes the announcement in a press release. But once we get that, then we could add into there, if anybody's interested in getting a tree and they're on one of these streets, that they should contact us. So we can get working on that now. I personally need to make up some forms that the people can fill out requesting the tree and which tree they would like. We're going to give them maybe 6 different trees to choose from. We want to diversify our tree inventory a little bit if we can. So we're going to, we got a lot of London planes, but we need some red maples, right, Dick?
Maybe.
And we need to come up with a 2-year maintenance agreement that the homeowner will sign, promising to take care of the tree, make sure it's watered and trimmed if it needs to be trimmed. Jody agreed that this time around with this grant that we should get the engineer to do more of the legwork, because she went back with the last grant we got. So we've managed to put some funding aside for that. So Remington and Vernick will be contacting them and asking them to do inspections or help us cite the trees and things like that. We also need to come up with we need to conduct a program where once, like maybe a couple months before the tree planting, we get all the homeowners to come to a meeting to learn how to properly care for their tree and so forth. So these are some of the things that we have to do with this $30,000, but we're getting a lot of help from other sources, and that's the next thing on the agenda is the stewardship grant.
Excuse me, Nanette, can I ask something? What streets, I'm just curious, what streets are the main streets?
I
that
have them here
need
somewhere.
trees? I'm
That's the wrong file.
curious.
All the
If you don't
streets
have it,
that
no
have
big
had
deal.
their trees removed for repaving.
Right.
And there are 6 or 7 blocks, including
500.
New Orleans, a bit of Buffalo, a bit
Right.
of Cincinnati, the 500 block,
Chicago.
London Avenue, the 100 and 200 blocks.
So there's that
Um,
many,
I'm
okay.
sure you know.
But there's a lot of trees that were removed, more
Mhm.
than we can plant.
Okay,
Yes. Well, there's lots of empty spaces in other blocks that just
Right.
either have never had trees, or trees that have been taken down, or trees that have fallen down.
Right.
right.
My
Thanks.
spreadsheet has lots of suggestions for new trees. All the green dots are all places where I think there should be trees, and there's hundreds of them.
Okay, thank you. I was just wondering where exactly it was that you were concentrating on, if it was one area or
Yeah,
what.
the bald spots.
Yeah. Thanks.
We also applied for a $2,000 grant from Atlantic City Electric, and it's called the Stewardship Grant. And we had suggested that we would label the trees in Lincoln Park. When I went out there with Kim one day, I was like mesmerized by the trees, and they're just so glorious that people should know what they are. And we submitted for $2,000, but they got back to us and said they want to give us more. So Atlantic City Electric's given us $5,000 to do this project. And the remaining money that we don't use on the tree labeling program will go towards paying the engineer to do the extra inspections that Jody requested. So for the Lincoln Park grant, we have a lot to do, mostly PR work, letting people know that we're going to be doing this. That we should be getting some kind of an announcement soon on that. I think tomorrow they're actually honoring all the awardees, but it's way up in Medford. I'm not going, but and Jody's not going, so they will send out a press release after that event, and we'll announce it to the community. And some of the things that we have to do for that project is what did I have here? When we do it, we're going to have to do like an event on Arbor Day, maybe next spring. We'll do an Arbor Day. We'll plant one tree and announce that all the trees will be labeled. Hopefully, we can get it done by then. We could use the help of the garden club to get those labels put in. They're going to come and select the style. I needed your help on that to design the actual plate. We don't want to put anything in there that'll get stolen, because if we use, we need to use aluminum or something, maybe even plastic, that'll hold up to the weather, but
Right.
won't be attractive to be stolen by people who go in there. So
Nanette, do you have the names of the trees at this point, or do you have to have
Dick
some?
went out and he identified them and gave me a little map.
So who was this?
But I'd like to have it like a second
Colby.
at it.
Oh, okay.
So maybe Kim, next time you're going out there, maybe you could stop by and pick up this map.
Yeah.
And just look at and confirm that, yes, this is because you know a lot about the trees, right?
I have a program and everything to be able to see what it is, and I can also, I could pretty much, I'll confirm it.
Okay. And then we're also going to create a color brochure of the park and some of the information that's like, we want to list all the different tree species. I think there's 20 different tree species that we're going to identify. There's more than 20 trees there, but we'll identify one of each.
Okay.
But there's, I think, 20 different species, and we'll make a brochure outlining all the different tree species and a little bit about them. And then we can use all this information from Lincoln Park to educate the public about putting trees in front of their house. So if they want to see what the tree is going to look like when it's all grown up, they could just go over to Lincoln Park and get a look at the tree firsthand. So I think that'll be a nice, and we could do an event in the spring to tour the park after the signs are in. We'll have like a little brunch or something out there, like a little refreshments. And also in this brochure, talk about how to properly care for trees. We already have a tree brochure. It's pretty good, I think, and that's at City Hall. So we could put that in there too. And so that we have a lot going on with the trees in town, which is, I think, wonderful. So any feedback, let me know. We also, in our application for Sustainable Jersey certification, we had talked about establishing an east-west walk route. And I need feedback on which streets you think should be the walk route. I always walked on Camp and Claudius, but when they put the footbridge in, Easterwig became popular place for people to walk. So we need to come up with a map and give it to Public Works, and they will go out and mark quarter-mile marks on the street, on the side of the streets. And those streets are, you know, there's not a whole lot of activity back there. There are not a whole lot of houses. So it's a nice place to go in the morning, especially. So who's this coming in?
You-
Oh, Steve? Hi, Steve.
He's not in yet. Now he's in.
He's in. Hi, Steve.
Evening.
You missed half the meeting, but that's okay.
Sorry.
I goofed up on the agenda, so I had the wrong login information. I guess you got an email, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm working with Jeannie Moore on that because she's still going strong with her walking club. And hopefully we can get this done this fall. So if anybody has any input on that, let me know. I also am trying to set up something on the spotted lanternfly that is becoming terrible for our area. Up until about 2 weeks ago, it was limited to Hamilton, but since then it's been reported in Mays Landing, Galloway Township, and on the island, on the beach. They're on the beach. There's no trees on the beach. I don't know what they're doing there, but we really need to educate the public about them. And there's a video that I will share with people about how to scrape off the egg masses off the barks of the tree. Now's the time to do that. The lanternflies will probably be dying off soon, but they've already laid their eggs on the trees. So you need to go out and you need to crush them first before you scrape them off, because if you don't scrape them all off, they'll fall on the ground and they'll hatch in the spring. But there's a real effort statewide to control it. And I talked to Belinda Chester and a fellow who's their sustainability officer in Margate, and both had said that they would be available to do a Zoom meeting on it. So it'll probably be a Monday or Tuesday night. So once I get that organized, I'll let everybody know. But this China plague is affecting us now. And the thing about it is that this area especially has a lot of tree of life trees. They're like weed trees that grow in the woods, but people have them growing out of their foundations and they don't do anything about them. We need to make them aware that this is the host plant for this invasive species and ask them to rip it out. And I understand that the tree of life is very difficult to kill because it'll just keep coming back. And That's also an invasive species from somewhere else. I don't know where. But so we'll have something coming up soon on the spotted lanternfly. And I post a lot of stuff on our Facebook page, Sustainable EHC. So if you haven't liked that page yet, please go to Facebook. I know everybody's on Facebook. Please like that page and share the information that we post so that other people see it. Next thing on the agenda.
Is the internet.
Yes.
On that subject, a few years ago, I had gotten something from the Mushroom Festival in Pennsylvania, and that was on the lanternfly. And it was actually like a credit card, and it gave all the information on it and told you to use that to scrape it off of the tree. I don't know if you've seen anything like that. But if
No.
you haven't, I have it. So if you'd like to take a look at it, I can send it
Yeah.
off to you.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Can I say something related to that?
Yes.
The annual meeting of the New Jersey Shade Tree Federation is coming up on October 21st and 22nd. And I've been privileged in the last 10 years or so to be given a free day there by the city government in Egg Harbor City. And they will have tons of stuff on spotted lanternflies, and I'll bring back whatever I can.
Okay. So you're definitely going?
Yes, it's up in the Crown Plaza Hotel near the Cherry Hill rail station
I don't know if I registered for
on
that.
Route 70.
Yeah. All right. Send me the information on that, Dick, because I might want to
Okay.
go with you.
Okay,
And Kim, if you want to go, let me know, because we get, the city gets credit for it towards their continuing education.
Okay.
If you want to go, they're very informative. I went with Dick
When
once.
is it?
He said it's in October, in October. right?
October 21st, Thursday, and the 22nd, to Friday.
Okay.
It includes a very lavish lunch,
Yeah.
an enormous amount of coffee.
The next thing on the agenda is the Arbor Day tree replanting. The tree we planted for Johnson has died. I don't think it ever lived. I think it was dead when we got it. Because it was bald when we got it. We planted it in April and didn't have any leaves on it. So we need to replant that tree. So maybe we could do that in the next couple weeks. I'll try to get a replacement. I don't think I'm going to ask for another red bud, because we haven't had too much luck with them here. So maybe, I don't know, some other kind of tree. Maybe a magnolia tree, I was thinking, in front of City Hall would be nice. So we'll have to work on that. We also would like to do another, I still have the LED light bulbs and the reusable bags, that it's now time. I mean, this thing is going to go into effect in February of 2022. So if anybody's interested in doing a distribution over at the Inkalingos on a 4 o'clock on a weekday, let me know, and I'll bring everything out. Hazel went.
I'll
Yes.
help you again. I'll help you.
Yeah, and Kim was there too. So it was fun, and Rick came. It was fun. We had an hour of chatting with residents that know nothing about the bag ban. So it'll be important to get more information out. And then finally, the last thing I have is, can you see that? Hamilton's having their Green Day, October 2nd, 12 to 4 p.m. It's going to be at Veterans Memorial Park on Vine Street at Route 54. They're doing something neat this year. They're collecting denim to recycle. So I thought that if we have, if we want to clean out our closets and gather up our old jeans that we don't need anymore, they're collecting jeans, jackets, shirts, skirts, and more. They could be colored, embellished, and/or printed. Denim can also be in any condition, ripped, stained, and even scraps with a high 90% cotton content. So Hamilton's got a great green team, and they do innovative stuff, and they've been having their Green Day for years now. And they get more people than we got when we did ours. So we should just go over there and enjoy theirs. So does anybody else have anything to offer? No.
That was very good meeting, Nanette. Very nice, very good informative meeting. Thank you.
Our next meeting will be October 26th on a Tuesday, 6 o'clock, again, probably Zoom, except I'll have the right number on here. So you could get in more easily. And, check us out on during the city's council meetings where Kim and I are always there. Kim's a little bit more calm and pleasant. And then here's me, what are you doing about this? What are you doing about that?
You're very organized with everything that you do and say, so we appreciate that.
Right. All right. So anybody have anything else? No?
No, thank you.
Well, thanks for coming, Steve. And
Could you stay on
Sure.
for a second, Steve, so I can have a question to you? Steve,
Sure.
stay on for a second and I'll ask you a
I'll be
question.
on. I
Okay.
will.
all right, I'm going to log off, folks. And thanks for coming. And like I said, all this stuff, check out your agenda and email me your thoughts on some of these things and, volunteer for stuff because I'm in sad shape. I'm physically a mess. And today I'm
Sorry.
batting away, but today was my first day of taking steroids. So I should
Oh.
be up all night.
Hope you
Thanks,
feel
Annette.
better.
Thank you.
I-
Feel better.
Yes,
Thank you.
good
Bye.
wishes, Annette. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.